This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 27th day of April in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Scores of workers attached to the Guyana Power and Light Company used their lunch break today to protest outside the company's Main Street headquarters, calling for their salary increases to be resolved. The GPL workers are represented by the National Association of Agricultural, Commercial and Industrial Employees, NACI. According to the union's General Secretary Dauchen Nagasar, in 2020 GPL made a proposal to the union for a 3-year package for the power company workers. In that package, GPL offered a 5% increase for each of the 3 years. The General Secretary explained that after the government change, GPL asked for the negotiations to pause, given managerial changes at the company. He said that after several attempts, the negotiations resumed and several matters were agreed upon, except the union's proposal for an across-the-board increase as well as an appraisal increase.
We have agreed to 66 of those clauses. There is only 2 clauses that is outstanding, that is the across-the-board increase and the appraisal increase.
The union has asked GPL for a 5% increase for 2020, a 7% increase for 2021, and a 9% increase for next year. GPL has made no new offer to its original proposal.
The company asked that we do back a proposal on these 2 clauses. We did that. The letter is dated the 22nd of March. We gave it to the company. The proposal that we did is for 5% to 2020 across the board, 7% to 2021, and 9% to 2022. Since then, the company said that they will take it to management and management will take it to the stakeholders to get involved and respond to us. They haven't responded to us as yet, and the workers are here. As you can see, they are dissatisfied and they want to vent their dissatisfaction.
The NACI representative said although the union's proposal is 5%, 7% and 9%, they are prepared to go to the bargaining table with the power company. More news coming up in just a moment.
Guyana, we've been through it all.
But as a people we have
weathered every storm
And risen to every challenge.
Because it is the people of Guyana
that gives it its strength.
all the people,
regardless of race,
class or religion.
We
are one people, one strength.
And now is our time. A time to rise. Together, we rise.
At Sash Financial, we create strategies for strengthening business and personal finances while helping our clients to build sustainable wealth. Our financial and business consultancy services are uniquely tailored to ensure every client receives quality packages and optimal results. Our financial services include financial reporting and analysis, financial status assessment, internal audits, bookkeeping and records management, financial planning advice, tax returns. Our business advisory services are related to business plans, business startups, operational improvement, business management, document preparation, procedures development, efficient marketing. Call or WhatsApp us today for your free consultation on telephone number 592-665-6045. Sash Financial, strengthening businesses, building wealth.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong, be the one to live right.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child,
You forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL.
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
The coronavirus death toll in the country reached 291 today as 2 more persons died from the disease. In its report today, the Ministry of Health also revealed that 72 new cases of the virus have been recorded, with 56 of those new cases in Region 4. In the past 26 days, the country has recorded 58 deaths and more than 2,500 new cases of the virus. The month of April has emerged as the deadliest month of the pandemic in Guyana. With the spread of the virus continuing across the country, the health minister continues to encourage citizens to get vaccinated.
So we continue to work and we encourage all age groups to really come out and to get their vaccines, not just the younger people, but all age groups. We know that older people are more vulnerable, and so we have spent a lot of time encouraging older people to come out. Based on our mortality statistics, we have seen that the majority of people who have died so far have been older persons. And we know that this vaccine, once you take it, it protects you from dying from COVID. And that's why we are encouraging older people especially to come out and get the vaccine.
More than 125,000 persons have now received the first shot of the coronavirus vaccine. And as more sites are being ruled out, the hope is that more persons will get vaccinated. The Ministry of Health has been trying to push back against some of the misinformation about the vaccines.
All the vaccines that we have in Guyana are very safe. These vaccines, we have 3 that we are working with: AstraZeneca, Sinopharm, and the Sputnik V. These vaccines have gone through a process of clinical trials. So they've been 3 different types of clinical trials, and they've all been found to be efficacious and safe. And then all of these vaccines have now been used around the world in many countries. Millions of people have received these vaccines, and it has been proven to be safe. So there's nothing that one should be worried about that should prevent you from coming to get the vaccines. The WHO would have reviewed the data, and they have concluded in the case of AstraZeneca that the benefits of the vaccine outweigh the risk, and therefore they're urging people to get vaccinated.
A quarter of the country's adult population has now received the first dose of the coronavirus vaccine. Health officials are hoping that there will be an increase in vaccinations in the coming days. 3 dorm students of the Linden Foundation Secondary School have tested positive for coronavirus and have since been placed in isolation. There are now efforts on the way in the Linden community to get contact tracing done, especially since the students who are preparing for their CXC exams were attending classes as recent as late last week. Region 10 Chairman Darren Adams summoned a meeting today with the regional health officer and education officials in the region. The chairman said it is important to get teachers and students who may have interacted with the 3 students tested for the virus. He is, however, concerned that there is some hesitancy on the part of the students and their parents and even teachers to get tested.
What is most unfortunate is that these students would have attended classes, and so they would have posed a risk of transmission to other students and teachers at that facility. The health team went in. I think there's a reluctance on the part of other students and even teachers to participate in the swabbing or the PCR test. And so this is a recipe for a crisis. And so I want to call on teachers. Apparently, like, some parents are not giving permission for their children to go through the tests, to have the PCR done on them. And so if they come into contact with other children and other teachers, it causes a greater problem here for us in the region. And so again, we are calling on persons to follow and heed the advice of our healthcare workers, whether it's to have the PCR test done and to isolate and not be out mingling and acting as though everything is normal.
Chairman Adams also expressed some concern about the heavy traffic through his region from the regions that border Brazil. Despite the closure of the Guyana border with Brazil, persons have still been coming over to Guyana and have been making their way via bus to the city. In the past 2 weeks, Region 10 has recorded more than 50 new cases of coronavirus. 20 persons from the region have also died from the virus since the pandemic was first recorded in the country. Let's tell you now that Georgetown Mayor Ubraj Narain has taken the government to task over its failure to provide the Georgetown municipality with its budgetary subvention for 2020 and 2021, which totals $40 million. In a statement, the mayor said the municipality continues to suffer under the management of the government, adding that while the government is not making the subvention available to the city council, it continues to find money to bail out Gaisuco.
You have an unproductive industry, which is a sugar industry. The government keep bailing out millions and billions of dollars of taxpayer money, and they are not paying interest to the city, our country. And our city need proper development, proper enhancement, infrastructural work, because Georgetown is a hub of the entire nation. All the investors coming to Georgetown, the diplomats, the ministry, the office of the president, all those offices is within the city of Georgetown, and Georgetown is treated in such a low grade standard by this government. I have great concern as mayor, and we're not getting anywhere.
The subvention from the government, the mayor explained, is to be used to purchase equipment that will bolster garbage collection. He said government subventions to the municipality also aids in providing a clean and healthier environment for the citizens of Georgetown.
The $10 million was budgeted last year, 2020, as a subvention to the main city council that we had submitted to buy 2 compactors to place at Kitty Market and East Rumfeld Market so that the garbage can able to dispose properly. However, we yet to receive that $10 million and a way forward. I did wrote the minister on that matter and copy letters from the town clerk to the minister on decision of the council. All those things was resubmitted to the minister, which I didn't receive any response. However, the 30 million Guyana dollars which budgeted for the city council in 2021 budget, we did have an agreement where that $30 million will go to the administrative building of the mayor and city council, which 50 million will come from the mayor and city council coffers. So I'm still await on that 30 million from government, so it will, the bid can able to go out there, so it will be $80 million.
The mayor said the disbursing of the funds to the city council is crucial, adding that the municipality also has a responsibility to keep citizens safe, especially during the ongoing pandemic.
I give my commitment that I will work along with any government for the development and benefit for the citizen of the city and all the businesses and everyone. But nothing is coming forward. It's just promises, promises, and promises we get.
Mayor Narain said he hopes the government will keep its word and provide the subventions and the other promised money to the city council so it can get its work done. U.S. carrier American Airlines is reminding passengers that as part of its COVID-19 guidelines, the check-in time for all of its departing flights now close at 90 minutes before the scheduled departure time. In the past few weeks, several of the airline's passengers leaving Guyana have complained about turning up at the airport only to find themselves locked out from checking in for the flights. A representative for the airline explained to news source that the airline is very strict with its new check-in policy, which sees the check-in period being closed at precisely 90 minutes before departure. Once passengers turn up after the close-off of check-in, they will be required to rebook for another flight. The representative said passengers should pay keen attention to the information on the airline's website and the information provided by travel agents. Some passengers believe the airline should publish ads in the local media to remind passengers of all of the changes and the services, since the carrier does not have an office in Guyana. The ExxonMobil company has announced another major oil discovery in Guyana. In a statement, the company today said the latest discovery was made at the Uaru 2 well in the Stabroek Block offshore Guyana. Uaru 2 will add to the previously announced gross discovered recoverable resource estimate for the block, which is currently estimated to be approximately 9 billion oil equivalent barrels. Exxon explained that drilling at the Uaru 2 encountered approximately 120 feet of high-quality oil-bearing reservoirs, including newly identified intervals below the original Uaru 1 discovery. Additionally, it was announced that the number of oil production vessels offshore Guyana could be increased to as many as 10. The Uaru 2 discovery enhances the work of the company, according to the Senior Vice President of Exploration for Exxon, Mike Cousins. He said progressing with the industry-leading investments and well-executed exploration plans are vital in order to continue to develop Guyana's offshore resources that unlock additional value for the people of Guyana and all stakeholders. In January of last year, ExxonMobil announced that Uaru 1 was the 16th discovery in the Stabroek Block. That well encountered approximately 94 feet of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoir, and it was drilled in 6,342 feet of water. An operation by the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit in the town of Karibaton in Berbice has netted 57 pounds of marijuana, resulting in the arrest of a suspected drug trafficker. During the operation yesterday in Little India No. 79 Village, Karibaton, Kanu agents arrested a suspect, this man, Wesley Antonio Barry. He is the owner of the property where the large packages of marijuana were found in his presence during the search. Barry was immediately taken into custody and is expected to face the court later this week to answer the drug trafficking charges.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95, tune up. Fuel it up and drive, super 95, tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region right now, more than 100 dental assistants across Jamaica's 4 health regions withdrew their services today as they protested the non-payment of a 4% salary increase that was due to them along with other allowances. The General Secretary of the Union of Technical, Administrative and Supervisory Personnel, Patrice Innes, said the workers have not been given the salary increase for 2019 to 2020, while their uniform allowance has been outstanding from as far back as 2018. The workers are also hoping to collect 30,000 Jamaican dollars lump sum payment that was promised to them under the committee labor agreement. The officials said that the group has been patient for a very long time, and this is a time when everybody is struggling and each worker is having difficulties. He said the monies were assigned in a collective labor agreement and therefore it should be paid. In neighboring Brazil, the country's Congress has launched an inquiry into the government's handling of the coronavirus pandemic. The country has recorded more than 14 million cases and 391,000 deaths since the pandemic began. The inquiry could potentially lead to the impeachment of President Jair Bolsonaro, who has frequently spoken out against lockdowns, masks, and vaccinations. The president has faced widespread criticism over his handling of the outbreak, and his support has plummeted. Hospitals are now overcrowded with people dying as they wait for treatment in some cities, and the health system is on the brink of collapse in many areas. But the president continues to oppose any lockdown measures to curb the outbreak in neighboring Brazil. And finally tonight, international news. In the United States, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, has announced that fully vaccinated Americans do not need to wear a mask when they are outdoors. Those who have received all required jabs can ditch their face coverings if alone or in small groups of vaccinated people, the new guidelines say. But the CDC left in place its guidance to don a mask indoors and in crowded settings or venues. Over 95 million Americans have been fully vaccinated thus far. Health officials announced the new safety guidelines at today's White House Coronavirus Task Force briefing. The guidelines are for the fully vaccinated, which means 2 weeks after a person's final vaccine jab. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting, encouraging you to stay safe.